the appropriate thing to do is still say, I am, hey, I'm Wes and I'm an addict, right? Wait, excuse you. I've been sober for 32 years. We heard yesterday.
Yeah.
And the guy, you're not an addict, bro. Stop. You were. But for 32 years, you haven't been something. So if you were judging me on something from 32 years ago, please stop.
What was your leadership style, bro?
Yeah, I mean, servant leader, right?
Right on.
I study leadership, right? It's my hobby. Understanding sociology, psychology of people, and how do people maneuver? What makes them tick? How do I get a 67-year-old to help himself, right? How do I get him to even listen to me in the first place, right? Or anybody else for that matter.
Right.
So again, I focus on the people and the needs of those people. I had a thing even in the military where if I walked by and ripped you up about something, I would make a note in my book that I did that. And within a week, I would circle back to you and find something that I could praise you on, right? To where, people are quick to reprimand, and especially in the military, right? And a lot of times in the military, you're reprimanding prior to a standard being set. So you have an expectation, but you've never set a standard. But you'll destroy them at the end for not doing it right. Well, did you train them? Did you teach them? Did you set an expectation? No, no, and no. So, right? So, developing people. One of my things on the leadership side is I don't want to just develop you professionally.
Right.
That doesn't do me any good. And I cannot gain loyalty, trust, and respect if I'm only affecting you in one single vertical of your life. But if I can affect you in multiple verticals in your life, I can instantly gain some of that loyalty. I used to have a trick when I was in the military or First Sergeant. I'd get a new guy in and I would have him do a PT test in my office. Obviously, they couldn't run, right?
Right.
Horrible scenario, tiny office, wasn't appropriate, but it was purposeful, right? So day one, when they met me, I'd say, hey, Barrett, nice to meet you, man. You seem like you take care of yourself. You know how to do a push-up? Yeah? All right, let's go. Let me see how many you can do. And they would get out and do whatever they did, right? There wasn't even really enough room for them to do that. But I would write it down. And then I'd have them flip over and they would do sit-ups. Well, then what I would say is, hey, man, the next 2 weeks, you're going to do PT with me. And I would go out there and do PT with them. And the point was, you're brand new to my organization. I want to know who you are. I want to know what you're good at. I want to know what you're bad at. I want to know where we need to focus. I need you to know who I am. And then on the last day of that second week, I would have them do a PT test again. Well, that got my books right off the bat, right? But he's also obviously going to do better, right, than what happened in that office.
Right.
And so that's a immediate 2 weeks later, hey, because you trusted and had loyalty in me, or because you trusted me, you are now in better shape than what you were 2 weeks ago. So I'm not just going to affect you professionally. Your personal life will get better based on these changes and what's happening in your life. So I would always quickly try to find out, how can I affect them personally, professionally, emotionally, spiritually, right? And gain those understandings. So I would have people do different personality tests so I knew who I'm dealing with, right? And now what I like to do is if I find a book or quotes or some sort of class that is effective, then I like to take that back to my leadership team and have them do those as well, right? So we're professionally growing, and then, every performance evaluation, even in my role today outside the military, I want to know what you have done on the personal side in the last 30, 60, 90 days first. And then we can talk professionally, right? So again, like you mentioned, right? Focus is on the people. We'll evolve the people, we'll develop the people, and then we've got to evolve with them, right? It's like we were mentioning this morning. It's unfortunate for these. I'm just gonna say it. I don't give a shit what people think about my opinion. It is my opinion. We've done a lot of work lately with substance abuse and detox and all these different things. And a lot of these classes and meetings and groups that are out there today are all still, and rightfully so, going off the blue book. But I disagree highly with part of it. And I'll tell you the part I disagree with,
Describe what the blue book is first, just real quick.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So it's the Bible, the AA Bible, if you will, right? And it's great. Please, I'm not taking anything away from it. It's worked since 1939, I think, right? However, everything is good until it's not, right? And things evolve. And one of the things that I think is highly inappropriate is, we all in this room and everybody else listening to this has done some things that they're not proud of. They've done some things that are stupid. They've done some things that are dumb.
Right.
They've either chose to live with that or they've chose to fix that by acting and changing those deficiencies, right? Well, who in the world would want to get there's a saying about it, right? Because it sucks. It's called damned if you do, damned if you don't. So that leads people, well, today, the appropriate thing to do is still say, I am, hey, I'm Wes and I'm an addict, right? Wait, excuse you. I've been sober for 32 years. We heard yesterday. Yeah. And the guy, you're not an addict, bro. Stop. You were. But for 32 years, you haven't been something. So if you were judging me on something from 32 years ago, please stop.
Right.
Because I can assure you, based off my You campaign, I am not that dude. Right. So can we evolve, please? And get with the present and be present, period. Because I don't want to talk about that. That's why my rearview mirror is smaller than my windshield.
All right, good chap. You got anything on that?
Oh, brother. I think we get so caught up in things of the past. This used to work. This used to work. This used to work. I deal with it in church life every single day. Well, when we were doing it this way, lots of people wanted to come. Mm-hmm. When we had these kind of chairs, lots of people wanted to come. Mm-hmm. Now they don't want to come. The problem's not the chairs. Mm-hmm. The problem's you. Mm. Honestly.
Yes, sir.
That's what the problem is.
Yes, sir.
Every program out there that has successes, I'm not saying they're bad, but at the end of the day, it's really not the program at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. It's the person and what they choose to do.
We were talking about that yesterday with Tom and just, some of these nonprofits and them competing in the nonprofit arena with each other when all of our missions are aligned, when all of our missions are the same. And I brought up American Legion and VFW, for instance, and like both these organizations, a lot of these organizations that were started, I love these organizations. I've been a member of the American Legion. I still am. I'm a lifetime member of the VFW, belong to a Masonic Lodge. I used to be an Elk. Right, and I thought I cracked the code in a community. Like when you're at the duty station, get involved with the community. Get your ass outside of your house, know your neighbor, and know your community, right? Because if you don't, you're shorting yourself. Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, right? Yeah, I agree. But the VFW and the American Legion, both of them are dying. And I tried to bring these guys together, the guys at the American Legion. I'm a dual member. A lot of us are. You have American Legion that hates the VFW because for whatever reason, they can't join the VFW, or the VFW that hates the American Legion for whatever reason. I'm like, hey, time out, guys. We're all vets. One team, one fight, right? It was kind of like, you'd have inter-unit beef, right? But I remember doing this shit in the 82nd Airborne Convention. We all went down there, right? Different units. Oh, at Bragg, I mean, you know the deal, bro. You're driving by talking shit to people, you know, from different
Ain't no
units.
running on our dins.
Yeah.
Ain't no walking on our dins.
But you go to the convention, and we went down to a Navy base one time, bro, and I shoulder checked a dude. My boss shoulder checked a dude, and like, hey man, I stopped it. I was like, hey, let me buy you a drink. You know, we're down here for the convention. He was like, no shit, you guys too. So we just, yeah. And then both of our groups ended up getting into a fight with a bunch of Navy dudes. That was the point, right?
Well, I think we choose what the tribe separations are going to be.
That's right.
Right.
We choose those things, and I live in so many different arenas that are broken because we are all in the same boat, but we all want to have a different room in the stinking boat. You know, the vet thing. We got the older vets, you got the Comrade vets, you got these vets, and you got these vets, and those vets are better off than these vets. Dude, we're all vets hurting.
Right.
Why can't we work together to love one another, and let's come up with some solutions as an organizational structure overall. Right. All right. And let's see what's really best. Everybody when you don't care who gets all the attention, and you don't care who gets their name in lights, well, you know what? A lot more gets done. It's not about who gets credit for helping someone. It's about helping someone. I don't care who gets the credit. Now, sometimes that causes funding problems in organizations. I get it. Okay? I sleep just fine, you not knowing my name. I do, because I've helped all these people over here, because my purpose for being in that organization was to help people.
That's right. Well, you know, I think that goes to the non-commissioned officer, right? And I'm not taking anything away from the officers, right? But I used to do this exercise with guys to prove this point, right? So if I said somebody like General McChrystal, right?
Okay.
Who was his sergeant major? General Petraeus. Who was his sergeant major? And nobody knows. Right? So that was always interesting to me, because the backbone of the Army, right? We know what was going on, right? But there's only one name, right? And please, I'm not taking anything away from any of those people. I'm just, I'm talking about the phenomenon itself, right? That quiet professional, right? I'm gonna take care of my people. He did it, right? I've told many commanders, many leaders that, hey, I can either be on your team or not. I can make you look great, but if you continue to stack processes or obstacles in my way, I'll go the opposite direction. And it's better to be my friend than my enemy. Right? So, but again, you see how many times that word choice is coming up today? You know, it's loud, right?
So I want to hit two questions real quick, and then that you kind of hit a bunch of different topics I want to dive into. Favorite book or author?
Yeah, so I told you I'm a student of leadership, right? And I've sought out mentors for my entire life, right? Like you said, a lot of men and a lot of women, but a lot of men have shaped that side of me, and so I've sought out these mentors and gained a lot of wisdom and knowledge from them, and books and other resources. But there's one that you recommended, as a matter of fact. Tribe of Mentors has my head spinning, and it has for month and a half, whatever it is. I just think it's brilliant. I mean, I'm so impressed with it. You know, you could never glean that information from that many people that effectively any other way, right? That I can come up with. So first and foremost, the plan and ideology about it was brilliant. And then on the receiving end, on the student side of it, you know, Tim Ferriss, thank you very much, right? Because you saved me a lot of time and heartache because you spent all the time in the middle of the night sending Facebook and Instagram messages trying to rope in people that didn't want to be roped in, and you succeeded. So not only his persistence there, and that was after I think he said he had one book deal that didn't go through 27 times, right? And if he does hear this or listen to this, I'm actually trying to get a hold of you because I have another book deal for you that I need to get in touch with you. So I've been reaching out to him on a couple of different mediums as well. So Tribe of Mentors by Tim Ferriss.
I gave a copy to you for Christmas.
Yep.
I gave a copy to my son Tristan for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I gave a copy to my sister. And I also, when I bought that, I bought as many copies as Amazon would let me buy.
There you go. Yeah.
So the next one for you is Tools for Titans, also by or Tools of Titans. That's by Tim Ferriss. Mm-hmm. And it's just, if you haven't checked it out, do yourself a favor. I'm an Audible book guy. If I really like the book, I'll buy it on paper. Man, it's a fantastic book.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you're enjoying it, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Next one is, do you have a favorite quote or a saying that you might live your life by?
Yeah. And, you know, I struggled with this. So honestly, I think I have two, if I can do that. One of them I've had on my wall for, I don't know, at least 60% of my life, right? And it was something my dad told me when I was little. And I think, well, I don't know, I was going to say he made me put it on my wall, but maybe he just, you know, maybe I just picked that up from him because he would always put his Post-it notes on his mirror in his bathroom when he was brushing his teeth. And that's how he shaped his vision, shaped his lines of effort, shaped his day based on those lines of effort, and then checked himself when he brushed his teeth in the afternoon. Pretty solid. But the sign that he had me put in my room, and this is applicable today, the 10 most powerful 2-letter words, right? I'll say that again. 10 most powerful 2-letter words is, if it is to be, it is up to me. Right? You can apply that to anything. So a lot of times, believe it or not, when it comes in most handy is typically when I feel overwhelmed, defeated maybe, you know, probably just tired.
Right.
Right? Then I'll say, whoa, wait, man. It's either you or it ain't gonna happen.
Right.
So what are you gonna do? Right. And that doesn't mean that I don't have a team around me. That's not what that means. But you know, I'm a firm believer, like I've always said, if you got 5 people, it looks like this. Right. So you got one that's okay. That's your best one. Right. You give 5 more, it's gonna look like that. You give 5 more, it's gonna look like that. I used to use this as a leadership philosophy because you spend all your time right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then this guy leaves.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I think we spend way too much time worrying about the little things. When you fix the big things, the majority of the big things go away.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Fix the big ones. The little ones begin to disappear because they're nothing more than the building blocks for the big one.
That's right.
Man.
You can put that one and keep it free.
Most valuable life lesson. Just to give you a little bit of context, I'm like, man, you know, really good guys are going to tell you how good each other are. They're not going to say me. But we always get down on ourselves, right? And Wes corrected me last night. He's like, bro, He's like, shut the fuck up. Like, I mean, and that's what you respond to. Sometimes that's what you need. You need that punch in the face. We talked about that. So I just wanted to set the stage. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take that away from you.
No, you're perfect. No, that was perfect, right? Because I want to change this culture, right? I'm tired of hearing about it, right? It is not productive. It is not even true, right? So the messaging for a little while, unfortunately, about veterans was that we had a problem. I highly disagree. I think America has a problem right now, back to trying to digest too much information. And then, again, my opinion, social media has been the death of growth and performance in this country for a lot of reasons. It is a fictitious world, right? It's just like right now, you know, you want to take someone to homecoming. Well, you know, TikTok or Facebook or Instagram told you that you got to make a little sign out of, you know, poster board, and it's got to say, you know, something cliche, and you want to go to HOCO, right? Yeah, not true. How about use your words and have a conversation, not with a sign, right?
Right.
And effectively communicate your intentions,
Right.
right?
Do you mean this is starting to make me uncomfortable? Do you mean actually get in front of someone and have a face-to-face verbal exchange of words?
Absolutely. I know it's foreign.
So what was the life lesson?
Yeah, so the life lesson, right, is, you know, you can go to psychology, talk about the Dunning-Kruger effect, right, where, well, I won't get into it, but...
I'm familiar. Look it up.
Right, right. But in the veteran community, there for a while, you had groups like dysfunctional veterans and, you know, these trash groups, quite frankly, right? In fact, when dysfunctional veterans was all over Facebook, I tore up their admins over and over and over. Delete this, change the name. What are you talking about, right? And there was all these members on there, blew my mind, right? So we started believing that we're broken, we have mental health issues, we're different. No, you're not, right? The military came from society. We're not different species.
Right.
So we came from society that was already broken in that aspect, and we joined the military. Now, is there trauma? Yes. Did that affect some of that? Did TBIs affect some of that? Sure. However, it is not a distinguishing factor for who we are. So a lot of times in the veteran community, the other culture you hear is, I didn't do what you had to do. I just did something.
I hate the word just.
Oh, the word just is just going to go away.
Yeah.
Right? Because what you just did, we're going to change the way we use it, right? We're going to read it backwards. No, you just did more than 99% of America. That's what you just did. And then you decided to continue to volunteer, to fall out of airplanes, etc. And so you decreased that percentage yet again. Most of the people that we're talking to that are still driven, acting and motivating and creating, those were your top 10% NCOs.
Right.
Right. And I usually I stole this from my buddy Chris Krause, but you know, he says yes or yes, right? That's what happened. So the word just needs to go away, right? So the individual, if it's just like manifesting, you know, or creating your environment, right? Well, I'm just tired. Okay, well, yep, you're right. You're just tired, right? So if we take that and we just flip it, right? No, you just did more than 99% of America. Then you kept volunteering and making that smaller and smaller. And then you just did it for 20 years, and then you were 15, and then you just got out, and then you just weren't happy with what you were doing, and you continued to excel. And today you're refining your habits every single day to continue to be better and better and better. That's actually who the veteran is. The veteran thinks he has a problem because he's still not satisfied with his performance. And here's why. Because he's never defined what success looks like.
He's listening to society.
Thank you.
He's listening to society, just like not just the veterans are doing.
Yes, sir.
The young people are listening to society. Everybody's listening to society. Society doesn't want you to do well. You have to want to do well on your own.
That's right.
And then choose who you hang out with, where you hang out, why you hang out, and what you're going to do. Okay, I'm sorry. I took your thing.
That was perfection, chap. And again, motivates me because it lets us understand we're not alone. Hallelujah. We feel the same, you know? And that's absolutely correct, right? And, you know, we, Camp Comrade, have a Winning Wednesday thing that we do every Wednesday at 7 p.m. What we do on there is all about this. It's just getting better every day. I like it. So we come on there, we share experiences. Hey, I got my MBA. Hey, I started a business. Hey, I did, right? Mm-hmm. And we share those successes, and we have everything on there from clinicians to other nonprofits, multiple industry professionals, et cetera. We've got lawyers, and we solve problems right there. You know, hey, I need a lawyer. Cool. Hey, I'm gonna kick y'all in another room. Y'all chat. Yeah. Hey, I need a CPA. Cool. We got one of those too. Y'all go chat. Right. Or we simply sit there and have the fellowship, the accountability that I've got to now look at the people in this room, and tell them what positive has came from me. Right. Mm-hmm. It has been unbelievable, quite frankly. So yeah, let's get rid of just. Let's just get rid of it. Nobody, yeah,
it's gone.
Nobody did anything better or different. You know what's interesting to me is 99% of the time that people say that, they don't even know what your bio is. They're just saying it.
Right.
They don't know what you did. They don't know where you did it. They don't know how they don't know any of that.
Right.
The majority of people in this country have low self-esteem.
That's right.
Because they sit on Facebook or all these social medias and they're talked about, or they read about everybody else and how perfect their little worlds are, and most of them are not real. Mm-hmm. And they blow up and bloviate and just create these, what I call virtual worlds in their mind. Mm-hmm. And then how in the world can you live up to a virtual mindset? You cannot do that as a human being. Mm-mm. We need to, again, I'm all about encouraging each other to be better than we were yesterday. Mm-hmm. And some people make bigger steps than others, but it's immaterial. Are you making a step forward every single day? It may be an inch, maybe a foot, who knows? But are you attempting, are you striving to spend time with people, reading books, doing the things that is necessary to intellectually challenge you, and then physically be challenged by giving a piece of yourself and leaving it with somebody else every single day?
Absolutely.
That's what changes culture.
Absolutely.
I like that.
I love that. Yeah. Excellent.